This is the entire ecosystem of IT technology, the IT industry of India. I mean, we don't have events where we have policymakers, we have got regulators, we have got manufacturers, the service providers like many of you, the value-added resellers, and also the vendors, etc. So it's an entire ecosystem. And together we are trying to build a very, very big industry in India. We feel sometimes very proud of having created in the last about 20 years or so a big IT industry, and people give number to it as about 80 billion or so. The important challenge now is how do we take this industry forward? And how do we make this 80 billion industry into maybe about 300 billion industry in 10 years' time? I mean, that's the time frame we got to see in front of us. It's important because all the players in this ecosystem are going to benefit out of it. Not only are we going to enable making this industry so big, but we are going to be the beneficiaries too. So all the resellers and all the partners, etc., distributors, system integrators, service providers can expect, therefore, to become at least 4 times their size. And size and the scale is very important, but the speed is crucial. I mean, one of those things that accelerates India, really speaking, or any of the industries, is this whole system of two feet on 2 paddles. One accelerates and one decelerates. So it's very important for us to lift the pedal from the decelerator and accelerate as much as possible. Just 2 quick things that I want to share with you. One is that as we move into this so-called next decade, and like Mr. Prasad said, every single aspect of governance, every single aspect of large enterprises, entrepreneurs, consumers, is being driven by technology. So one of the important things that we have to be keeping in mind is always what is the direction in which technology is moving. At a very macro level, we all know, in fact, everybody here gets affected by it. 4 things are impacting the technology of IT. One is the digitization, one is the connectivity, one is the mobility, and one is the convergence. The whole world is becoming a connected world. Today, about 2 billion people are connected on community sites. There are 3 trillion devices which are connected. Devices are talking to devices. It's a network world. So that's one thing that is going to continue to drive it, because that's going to continue to add value to the way we function and to make everything a lot more effective. The second important thing, I think, is that as we move, or as this ecosystem moves and lifts the next 10 years of Indian economy, large enterprises and the business world needs to become more effective. They need to become more productive. They need to become more cost effective. And that's very important, because not only enterprises need to be competitive, collectively and on a very aggregated base, the whole nation needs to become more competitive, because you never know from where the competition comes, and when it comes like a storm. So competitiveness, gaining competitiveness is important. In other words, every process needs to be re-engineered. Technology deployment has to make it effective, faster, and also cheaper. Now, that's very, very important, because every part of IT technology, and I belong to a document management industry, so to say, from Canon side, one of the important objectives that this industry, or the pursuits that the industry moves towards it, how do we make our enterprise working more effective? The third important point that I have to mention is that as we move into bigger economy, entrepreneurial depth is going to increase in the country. So more tier 2, tier 3 towns. And therefore, our resellers, we are having it in India, but if we were to have the similar event in other parts of the country, it's an encouraging phenomenon that in smaller towns we are going to see more and more adoption of technology, and that's very, very important. And as I sign off, I just want to leave behind 3 thoughts. I think as a collective ecosystem, one thing that we have to work is on innovation. Innovation in applications, and there are numerous applications. Mr. Prasad talked about some application that government is using here, whether it is in construction, whether it is in inventions, in working in various government projects and social programs, in remote areas, etc. Innovation is the key. Indian applications are very peculiar. Technologies are standard. We adopt technology that are actually invented outside India, but the applications can be still Indian. So that's very important. We have to move towards more and more innovation. Innovation in hardware. Innovation in creating Indian brands. Making Indian brands global. That's very, very important. Second thing I think we have to work is into creating a bigger manufacturing ecosystem. For creating jobs in India, and that's very important, and to lift this India's so-called economic growth 2.0, we've got to create huge amount of jobs. So manufacturing becomes very important. extremely, extremely important. So with these few words, ladies and gentlemen, I want to congratulate people who are going to win awards. It's a great event, and Deepak, you must continue to do this event. It brings everybody together. It makes all our objectives in one direction. How do we create good value addition for our own self and also for the nation? Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Alok Bharadwaj.